you would be so kind, my friend, as to come up and receive the plaque. Everyone. Also, that we shake hands with the, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot to say, bro. I'll be there. All right, well, anybody else? Come on, George, you should be holding this. Anyone else? Anyone else? I didn't see you back there. I didn't see you back there. Oh, no. I saw you, Rick. Because you were all in, were you too? Thank you. So for those who don't necessarily know Robert's contributions, it's probably like a lot of other employees here in the city of Harvey, in that you have a lot of people that's doing a lot of work, and you may not necessarily see that person, you may necessarily hear from that person, but you see the work that they do. You know, it's kind of like it's like the elves in that story about the cobbler and the shoes. You know, when the elves came in the middle of the night, they did all the work, and the cobbler had brand new shoes and didn't know how he got them. Well, if we would have likened that to what we are today, he's one of those elves. He's one of those people that come out there to constantly get the work done, knowing that at times it can be thankless, but he does it anyway. He's a Harvey resident too. Okay, so that's 6th Ward resident. So that's another thing, you know, and he cares for the city in which he lives. So we'll be doing some other things for him as time goes on, but thank you again, Robert. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Mayor.
And so next item is approval of ordinances and resolutions for the city of Harvey. 5A old business, 5B new business, B1. An ordinance making appropriations for corporate purposes for the city of Harvey fiscal year beginning May 1, 2024 and ending April 30, 2025. This ordinance approves the budget for the fiscal year beginning May 1, 2024 and ending April 30, 2025. We have a motion by the first and a second by the third. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, you can cast your votes. Motion carries.
That is ordinance number 3502.
Next item on the agenda is an ordinance levying taxes in the city of Harvey for the fiscal year beginning May 1, 2024 and ending April 30, 2025. This ordinance approves the amount of taxes to be levied upon all property within the city of Harvey, subject to taxation for fiscal year beginning May 1, 2024 and ending April 30, 2025. I see a motion from the third, a second by the first. Is there any debate?
Not a debate, sir. If you please, this council, at least make a statement. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we had a finance meeting, and we had the opportunity to.
I forgot to ask that. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
So we had the finance meeting, we had an opportunity to have a little discussion with a few from the public that was here. Alderman Key was here as well. I want to say that, number one, I'm proud that once again, we're not raising taxes. I want the public to know that. However, we're not your only taxing body. So please get your tax bill and look at it, because we are not your only taxing body. There are other things that impact that has nothing to do with the city of Harvey. But we're dedicated to not raising taxes. We understood the budget. We took an opportunity to talk to our comptroller and ask a bunch of questions. I hate you missed it, but if you still got questions, reach out to your alderman, reach out to me. Come to another finance meeting, we'll answer any questions you have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And so before we do the vote, first of all, I second what the Fifth Ward Alderman said as far as the tax levy is concerned. I think it was in June of this year, we collectively made a pledge to our residents that we would not increase the levy for 2025. Taxes have been a very serious and important issue for many of our homeowners. We do have some commercial businesses that have refused to pay their taxes and that have not paid their taxes for almost 20 years. That portion is usually shifted over to the residential homeowners. But we do not want to put any more burden on our homeowners, regardless of the situation. So we're not increasing the levy. So once again, when you look at your tax bill, that should be coming out, I think, in February, keep in mind that there are 14 other taxing bodies on your bill, so that you can figure out, if you see an increase, you'll know that the increase is not coming from the city of Harvey. So that being said,
Mayor, may I interject just one more point?
the chair recognizes the Sixth Ward.
This was in the month of June, and when you had your press conference and you made the initiative to tell the public that we were not going to be increasing any taxes for fiscal year 2025. We were hoping that other municipalities would follow suit after what Harvey has taken the initiative to do. Don't know if that's occurred yet, but I'd like to say that this administration should be commended for taking that initiative not to increase any property taxes. We decided that we would do it for 2025. We may be able to do it for 2026. We got to see how it works out in 2025 first. And I just wanted to say that I'm proud to be a part of that decision-making process that we decided to go forth with. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, and normally we wouldn't do all of this talking, so, but this is such an important issue to the homeowners, that, yeah, if we can get, we only collect 52% of our property taxes. So just imagine if you were getting paid $100 a week and then your boss came to you and said, well, I can't give you $100. Instead, I have to give you $52. And now you have to go home and figure out how you're going to operate and function off of that amount. So we only collect 52%. So if we can get those who owe us taxes, specifically, once again, those commercial properties that owe us taxes, we actually may be collecting more and be able to do just that. So let's be hopeful that that will be the case at some time in the future. So that being said, we have the motion, we have the second. You can cast your vote. Motion carries.
That is ordinance 3503.
Next item on the agenda is an ordinance establishing remedies available to the city to address businesses operating in violation of the city's code. This ordinance amends Chapter 5-02 of the city code by adding a new subsection C, authorizing the city to seek an injunction, temporary restraining order, and abatement or other appropriate actions to enjoin, abate, or stop any violation of this chapter. There is a motion by the third, second by the first. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. The motion carries.
That is ordinance number 3504.
Next is the item is the omnibus, items number 5, number 6.
We're skipping 4. We still have 4 too. 4 wasn't a part of the other.
Oh, my apologies. Excuse me, an ordinance before we get there. Next item is an ordinance approving a special use permit for D. Lopez Tire Shop at 16203 South Halsted Street. There is a motion by the first, a second by the sixth. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your vote.
And that is ordinance number 3505.
Thank you very much. And thank you for catching me on that. Next item is the omnibus, numbers 5, 6, and 7. Do you need time to put that in, or you already have it? Got it? Okay. So there's omnibus 5, 6, and 7. We have a motion by the 6th Ward, excuse me, and the second by the 3rd. Is there any debate? Hearing none, well, there actually shouldn't be. You may cast your vote. That is passed. The resolution, the ordinance and the resolution.
Yes, resolution for item 5 is 3095. Number 6 is ordinance number 3506. And number 7 is resolution number 3096.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is encouraged and appreciated. This is the only opportunity for the public to address the city council on agenda items and any other city-related business. In order to accomplish all business on the agenda and be respectful of everyone's time, council members will not engage in dialogue with individual members of the audience, and no immediate action will be taken on any public comment issue. No speakers and donate his or her time to another speaker. Comments shall be courteous and respectful at all times. No person may use public comment for the purpose of campaign or advertisement. This is not a question and answer time, and council cannot engage in conversation with the public. Questions and concerns about operations should be addressed with city staff during regular business hours. So first we will have Ryan Sidwellski, followed by Mazurk Irving.
All right, good evening, everybody. Many of you know, this is Ryan with the Harvey Historical Society. Many of you know about our campaign to stop the mayor's horrible Central Park project on Myrtle Avenue. We are fighting to save people's homes and the historic St. Church campus at 153rd and Myrtle from demolition. Just when we thought it could get worse, it did. On November 7th, a group of us went to what we thought was an FWRD board meeting. Instead, we saw a circus. It was a spectacle worthy of the Lyric Opera in Chicago. Mayor Clark, Carrie Steele, and MWRD staff coordinated the biggest, most state show of support for a project we've ever seen. Mayor Clark used city employees on city time to lie to our Harvey seniors to get them to this meeting. Joe Whittington, the mayor's senior activities director, and my former alderman coordinated the event and even spoke in favor of taking other seniors' homes. After the meeting, several of the seniors said they would never want other seniors' homes to be taken, but they had no idea what was going on. They were promised a meal, a pleasant outing by the mayor and the city staff. At least 9 of the people who commented in favor of displacing Harvey residents were City of Harvey employees and or people owing favors to Mayor Clark. They were literally paid to be there and put on a show by their boss, Christopher Clark, all to take our seniors' homes and demolish one of the first racially integrated Catholic churches. Alder, Desmond, Grubinski, Smith, Randle-El, and Rogers. What are you getting from Clark that's enough to make you ignore widows who are literally crying and pleading with you not to take their homes in their final years? Randle-El doesn't even show up to most meetings, but he was at this one. Rogers doesn't answer any questions on the finance committee, but he was there. What is in it for you? We already have parks. We already have a park district. We don't need a new one. This is about flood relief. How about we start with just sweeping the streets so the stormwater can drain? How about cleaning out and repairing the sewers we have? How about patching potholes that are big enough to destroy your car? If you can't even maintain what we have now, why in the world would we trust you to build something new? I'm talking to you, Ms. Smith. Then at the end of the meeting, Ms. Steele dares to tell us that this is democracy. Okay, so let me get this straight. You and the mayor pay city staff with our money to deceive our most vulnerable, lonely seniors to make it look like they support putting other seniors out of their homes. Did you also tell those seniors that there's nothing stopping from Clark trying to take their homes next? Did you think about that, seniors? I bet you didn't mention that to them. Did you tell them that the MWRD gave you Mrs. Broomfield's house after acquiring it? I thought this was an MWRD project. Why does the city of Harvey now own all those homes on Myrtle? On what planet is this democracy? This sounds like Dictator Clark is desperate to get his hands on that $5 million FEMA grant at any cost. Why, Mr. Mayor, are you so desperate for this money? You don't need more money to waste. You don't need to displace residents or demolish historic buildings. You need to do your job and be accountable to the people. I also have to mention, I was here earlier for the finance meeting and they made everything sound so glowing, but to remind people, we haven't seen anything about the finances on paper, so easy change.
Thank you. Next is Mazurk Irving, followed by Irene Hitt.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mazurk Irving, former trustee of the Harvey Public Library. I have a couple concerns in regards to the last city council meeting where Alderman Colby Chapman was called out to be censured by Dominic Randle-El. I'd just like to point out something. The Robert's Rule of Order is there for a reason. It is not to be misused for the convenience of aldermen who don't agree with it, or the mayor, of how it's arranged. This is crazy. Whenever she asks a question, she's shut down. The votes are shoved through, the motion is made. You got that computer pad thing up there where you're shoving things through where a question can't be asked. Here's the thing, you guys. You all draw attention to your own self when somebody asks a question. What's so bad about answering the question? Just answer it. You're going to vote the way that you want to vote anyway. So just answer the question, practice the transparency, don't violate Robert's Rule of Order, and then things will be a whole lot better for the residents, because all we want to know is what's going on, and everything is like under lock and key all the time. This is not what I voted for. This is not what I want. Also, to piggyback on that, the censure was made. You know, Dominique Randle-El, I don't know what you're taking. I don't know if it's medicine or if it's a controllable substance, but you got up in the meeting and you hollered out, "I gotta pee," and they had to stop the meeting. That's not the way that a meeting is supposed to be run. You could have went up to the mayor and said, "I need for you to stop the meeting for a minute so I can go out and come back." Now that is something that somebody needs to be censured on. You know, I hope that wasn't your ideal to do the censure, that somebody else told you to do it. And then at least I can just say, well, you're under the influence of, because you know that probably your money for special events with the city would be withheld or something like that. But you guys got to do better. You're not thinking for yourself. That's basically what it is. The levy, the 4.99% that Cook County allows you to charge every year, I'd like to see those numbers. I'd like to see if you did a minus 4.99% from last year's levy to this year's levy after you've done it, to be sure that what you said is actually true, because I don't believe it.
Next is Irene Fitton, followed by Geraldine Harris.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Irene Fitton, and I live at 15204 Orlando. And Mayor, I appreciate you. You've done a wonderful job. Keep it up. You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you. Wait, no, absolutely not.
We get so much negativity, and somebody say something.
Thank you very much. No, then you can talk to them after the meeting.
All right.
Okay, and thank them. You did read that, did you, Deputy Chief? Okay, don't make me put you out there.
It's all right. I apologize.
Next is Geraldine Harris, followed by John Bradley.
Good evening to the Honorable Christopher Clark and this council. I want to thank you all for all the efforts that you all have been doing to try to bring this city back out of the dust. I was at your last council meeting and I saw elected officials, my block club captain, and some more citizens holding inflammatory green poster signs, inciting inflammatory comments on these signs. I am so glad that you use your power as my servants to stop the confusion. I want to say something, I'm going to say it twice and I'm going to say it slow. In the Holy Bible, in James chapter 3:3-18, tell you where wisdoms come from. James 3, chapter 3, verses 3-18, tell you and let you know what the Holy Bible say where wisdom come from. It can come from heaven and it can come from the devil. That's James 3, chapter 3, 13-18. Go read for yourself and see what that demonstration reflected. Did it reflect heaven or did it reflect the devil? I want you to keep on standing up for the citizens of Harvey. I was elected official as a trustee of the Harvey Public Library District for 6 years. I've been in this community since May 6, 1969, and in my home since August 1st, 1975. Thank you for being a refugee for me and my children, because I came from Chicago, born and raised. Thank you. Keep up the good work. And I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for being elected, coming to those board meetings. Please forgive me. I've been dealing with some medical problems, but you're gonna see me soon, real soon. God bless you all. We believe in God. God we trust.
Thank you. Next is John Randle. We'll bring the mic over there if you want us to, John.
No, I can say it right here.
Okay. We're going to bring the mic to you, though.
I want to applaud you and the city council for seeking the taxes from the businesses that have not been paying in the years past. All we want to do is say thank you, continue that work, and hopefully whatever support you need from community citizens, we will be organized and in your support, particularly with every mayor, every automatic person. We appreciate your work.
Thank you very much. Next is Ruby Donahue, followed by Suzanne Haney.
I'm not going to let my words be in vain. We have to do better. We have to support. We live here, and many of us do pay taxes. Those that don't, hear my word, get it together. We cannot run a city without money, and it has to be done in an orderly way and understood what is going to be done. We work very hard, all of us. I'm going to say in whatever way you do it, you're out there late. I have been a citizen of Harvey for 55 years. I have seen it come and I've seen it go. But this is the best administration that I have lived in where there has been some kind of communication. And I'm talking about written communication. We've never had it before. I'm saying go and look at what you're doing. Go and out into the fields and see what's been done. See what has been accomplished. Don't always look at the critical parts that you want to see and you're grouped together. We don't need no clicks unless you're clicking together. And this has not been done since the second part of this administration. We need to make the change, and we as a whole will do it. We will never go down. We will never be belittled over and over again. And the media making light of us as a whole. No. Our mayor is excellent in comparison to what we have had. Now, you might be looking at one thing, but I'm looking at another, and there are many others that are looking at the other side. Go out there in yourself and see what you're doing. Do you have a car wash, a new car wash? Do you have anything like Dixie Highway from 149 to 159th Street that has been repaved? Do you have the loft that has been built? That was our taxpayers' dollars, part of it at least. And that's what we need to be looking at. Looking at the positive things, not always at the negative things. That's the wrong way to go. I've been here long enough in this life to know the good and the bad. And I can see more good than I can see bad. We have to work together. Stop being critical. Get out here. Stop criticizing one another. Love one another. That is what life is all about.
Next up is Suzanne Haney.
Good evening, everyone. To our honorable mayor, city council, and the city's administrative staff. My name is Suzanne Haney. I reside at 14932 Cooper Avenue. And I'd just like to thank the mayor and his administrative staff for all the great work that they're doing. They're doing such a great job that I volunteer my time, because I'm being paid to work elbow to elbow with these people because they dig in and they get the job done. I see it every day. And I am proud to say, after living in Harvey for almost 40 years, that we finally have an administration that is moving forward and doing something for the residents. So I applaud you for your work. Keep up the good work. I don't know about the rhetoric that Ryan states. I don't know about what Missouri is talking about. Because if he knew anything about the Robert's Rule of Order, you know when you come to a city council, it's just all about business. You should not be disrupting the order of business, because you can't move forward if you can't get anything passed. You all have a blessed night.
Thank you. Next is the mayoral comment. So, we started off this meeting with me praying and being grateful and thankful to God for everything that He has done. I hope some of you absorbed that and internalized it, because it guides my remarks right now. There's a lot of things that I could say about some of the things that are said that are negative toward this city. I don't really care about the things that you say that's negative towards me, because once again, that's like water off a duck's back. You gotta understand what's going on, who you're dealing with. First of all, you're dealing with a steel worker. Okay, that's number one. First career, steel worker. Okay, we build iron tough. You're also dealing with an attorney. I know a lot of you guys, depending on, you know, what the situation is, you don't want to recognize the fact that your mayor is actually educated and actually practices as an attorney, which I don't know why, because I know I would be proud of it. But the simple fact is, you can't get me. Can't do it. So you might as well stop, because you're going to lose. But when I sit back and I look at it, and wait, hold on, back up. And then I got on the full armor. And the full armor is what protects me. Okay? It keeps me from all of the naysayers and the negativity and the things that people would want to do. Those principalities, those powers, and places that are unseen. Yeah, he got me. So the only advice I can give is the advice that I give a lot is, if you don't know him, get to know him. If you know him, have a relationship with him. Give him a call up every now and then. Tell him what you want, okay? But we have seen some tremendous things happen in this past year. And I think it's so many that we would probably be here for another entire meeting if I went through everything that we've done. But the first thing I want to do is I want to thank this council. Through it all, thick and thin, you guys have performed in a way that honestly I have to say that I didn't even expect myself in the very beginning, but we have learned, you know, how to work together as a council to do better for our community. So thank you so much. I also want to thank all of our departments and the leadership in those departments, because once again, we just mentioned that, one, we collect 52% of our taxes. Two, is that we still did not increase the levy of taxes on our residents. And even though we operate with a little bit, those departments and those department heads are able to get a lot done. And I want to give you an example of that. This past week, I had an opportunity to go out to the residents at the Jesse Jackson Jr. East Building, which is on 151st right off of Roby. And besides the fact that we had a really good time, they tell you I was dancing with them, but they asked a question. They said, hey, look, can you cut down all of the brush that's behind the building? And as soon as I left the building, I went straight to Public Works. And I talked to Rick, and I talked to Crystal, and they said that they would be on it right away. And the very next, I was able to report to the Third Ward Alderwoman that they would be on it the very next day, and they started on it the very next day. And has done a tremendous job, so much so that I've gotten calls from those residents and from others who've seen it, just amazed at what we have done. But speaking of the Jesse Jackson Jr. East and West building, that is another thing to be grateful for, because, what was it, the previous term, there was $35 million that was spent by POA, HUD, Cook County, by working with this administration on the Jesse Jackson, on the YMCA building on 155th and Central. That whole building was overhauled and redone as far as the residential spaces are concerned. And it improved the quality of life for the people who live there. Well, in POA, the owners of that building, they're also the owners of the Jesse Jackson Jr. East and West building. And they made a promise that after they finished the Center Street building, that they would be going over to Jesse Jackson Jr. East and West next. And that's exactly what they did. And the reason why I was there the other day was because we were celebrating the completion of that project. And they had a live band, and Michael Jackson impersonator come out. And we got a chance to talk to the residents, and of course the Third Ward Alderwoman. I think, Joe, you were there too, weren't you, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Was there as well, to celebrate improving the quality of life for people, specifically seniors in our community. We also recently celebrated the reopening of the 147th Street Metro Station, and we're hoping to see more travel through there. 154th Street is very close to its completion, and for those who yeah, my mother used to tell me no good deed goes unpunished. I keep trying to push against that. We started the work in sometime, I think it was the second week of September, is when the work on 154th Street started. And that work is almost complete. I'd say probably the next few weeks, is that correct? It should be complete. But I want to make note that this is a project that has not been done for over 100 years. Okay? 100 years. So when we went to do the work, we found the bricks that were still there, the trolley tracks that were still there from a time long gone in the city of Harvey. And so it took a little bit extra time and extra money, am I correct, to be able to make those corrections. But that is something that we are grateful for, and we know they can get done. We know that if we as a community and as a council stick together, we can move forward and get things done. Next door, Harvey lost, okay? Other than the fact that they have a supply chain issue right now going on, the loft will be open soon. They should have been open by the end of October, but they had a supply chain issue. Now, for those who don't understand what that means, it means that they had ordered some parts because of how things changed after COVID. You know, you don't necessarily get things instantaneously anymore. So they are waiting on those parts to come in, and once those parts come in, they should be there. Also, Dixie Highway. Dixie Highway was redone. And for those of you who have not taken a ride, please take a ride because it's smooth as silk. Okay, and they also added more ADA compliance to Dixie Highway as well. I'm gonna leave it at that, but I do want to pull out a few more things. In 2019, we stopped the sale of liquor at 5 o'clock in the morning. There were so many people, believe it or not, who thought that that was an insane idea. We stopped selling it till 5 o'clock in the morning, and we reduced the sales to 12 midnight. And at 12 midnight, all businesses that were selling liquor had to close, except for, of course, the gas stations, which were still allowed to stay open, but were not allowed to sell liquor. I believe that has had a tremendous impact on our city, okay? Both socially and spiritually, if I can say so myself. But this year, and because of it, we started to see crime slowly but surely go down. You know? And I remember that every night in my house, I used to have to go to bed to some gunshots. It's like I couldn't go to sleep if I didn't have those gunshots in my life. But that has changed. And it's changed because the police department has made some changes, but it's also changed because of what the council initially took and did back then at that particular point in time. And so, once again, and I want to let you know, homicides are down 33%. Burglaries are down 52%. Kidnappings are down 57%. Domestics are down 11%, and batteries are down 16%. So, at the beginning of the year, there'll probably be a Chicago Tribune or maybe a Daily Southtown article. They're probably just going to try to say something negative about the city of Harvey because they always try to classify us that way. But continually keep in mind that crime is going down in the city of Harvey. It's not just the police, but it's also the people. The people are paying more attention to what's going on in their neighborhood. They're starting to have a certain degree of pride that says, if I see something, I'm going to say something. So I would encourage everyone to do so. And then finally, if you do not read our wonderful newsletters, I think someone mentioned that we do it in writing. You have the newsletter that you can read that comes out monthly. You have a recap of the council meetings that come in your water bill that you can read to find out what's going on. But this year we also instituted with our communications department a video newsletter. So you can take that same newsletter that you read, and if you go to our YouTube page, when will they be able to start to sign up? Is there anything on our website? Or you can go to our website at cityofharveyil.gov. That's cityofharveyil.gov, and you can sign up to receive our monthly newsletter digitally. And you'll know when it comes out, and you'll be able to see the video newsletter as well. It is quite entertaining and quite informative. So I'm going to leave it at that. No, can't leave it at that. Finally, I want to thank all of the residents who have been extremely patient, who has given their support throughout the year. Those who have sent cards and letters, well wishes, those who stopped by, meet the mayor, some not to ask for anything, but just to sometimes bring us cookies and muffins or stuff that I have no business eating. But they did that because they cared. Those things never go overlooked, and I just want you to know that we greatly appreciate all of our residents. We will continue into 2025 to do even, somebody said we gotta do better. We're gonna do better. We're gonna do more. And for whomever it is said that we should do better, we hope that you join us in doing just that. So, on that note, I will end my comment. And wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, I didn't get to say anything the last time. That's why I took a little bit more time today. But next item on the agenda is a motion to adjourn. Oh, no, wait a minute. I want one thing for you guys. So, a family member of mine, we like to say that God is always in the blessing business, and business is good. And every time, I'm telling you, talk about that ram in the bush, man, he got ram after ram after ram. So I'm gonna read this to you, and we can end it on this, because I need you to do something else for me, council. What I hold in my hand is a resolution for an improvement under the highway code from the Illinois Department of Transportation. It just came in the other day, so we didn't have enough time to get it on this agenda because it just came in. But it is for continued improvements of 154th Street, from Route 1664, from Broadway to Wood Street. It says the full depth roadway reconstruction, new curbs, gutters, sidewalks improvements, storm sewer improvements, green infrastructure, storm water bump outs, because there's additional work that needs to be done after we get the asphalt down and everything like that. So there is hereby appropriated, and I'm going to say it again, this is the resolution for improvement under the Illinois Highway Code through the Illinois Department of Transportation, that there is hereby appropriated the sum of $1,666,183.26. No, because the head is up over the top. Don't do that. So, yeah, talking about rams in the bush. Okay, and y'all gotta understand, when you got $165 million worth of deficit, when you got 52% of your taxes are being collected, when there's so many financial challenges in the city, it's things like this that we really need that make a big difference. So what we will be doing is we will be asking for you to return on Monday, because we need to have another special meeting in order to deal with this particular issue. It'll be brief, it'll be quick, but the bottom line is we do need to get this passed. We would have had it on the agenda for today if we had received it in time. But it just shows you that, we have the support, we have the relationships, we have others out that are advocating for us, advocating for our city, so that we can get lessons like this. So I think that's a pretty darn good lesson there. So On that note, if there is nothing else for the good of the order, we'll receive a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by the fifth, second by the first. All in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, hearing none, we stand adjourned at 8:08. My favorite hip-hop instrument. Thank you. All right, have a great day, have a great week, and we will see you soon.